let me paint a picture. So, um, I was up at 6. I needed to just do a few last things, not least wash the car. The Irish roadworthiness tests, the centres are purpose built. All they do is test cars for roadworthiness. It's their state run, right? So, um, I was about to say there's no conflict of interest there, but there's always conflict of interest with a state. Essentially, what they are they're all the same. It's a big hangar. They generally have two or more lanes, and the lanes have both lanes have a rolling road and I don't know a lift uh, and a test station for emissions, all that kind of stuff. And the cars just non-stop go through, and it takes half an hour or so, I think, something like that, 40 minutes for each car. But it's a non-stop conveyor belt of cars. And so even if you arrive there at 7:30 in the morning, the place will be jammers. The waiting room will be full, and there'll probably be a queue, as there was this morning. And uh, I'd be lying if I tried to say I am punctual, but I'm punctual to the appointment rather than I'm not a 10 minutes early kind of guy. So I rock in when the car is supposed to be going in. And I thought that I'd have time to there's a trim that just goes round here, just a little trim strip to finish that. And also I had taken a cover off the rear wiper so that I wanted to just check that it was working properly. And I had them with me because I thought I'll have 5 minutes before I go in just to put those two things back on, and I didn't. So I burst in the door of the NCT centre, full waiting room. I almost run into the last person in the queue. It's that close to the door, and I'm carrying a lazy man's load. I've got my hat and my wallet and my the paperwork and the bits of trim and all that kind of stuff, which I proceed to essentially drop one by one. And the whole place was essentially laughing at me, to the point where I just kind of had to own it, and I just said, it's probably not a good sign when you turn up to the NCT centre carrying parts of the car. And then one of the NCT guys came in the door behind me and handed me my wallet, which I dropped outside. So there you go. I waited a while. The guy that took the car in was, okay, let's just say, not a kind of champion of customer service. It was pretty much give me the keys, and that was it. And off he went. And then it was just kind of half an hour of adrenaline, and I couldn't stop watching them. And I bet you they're probably well used to being watched, because there's a window. The waiting room is windowed on two sides onto the floor of the place, so you can literally watch your car going through. And that's the car up in the that's towards the end. So the car is at the end of the lane almost, and it's about to come out. That's when they kind of do all the visual checks underneath it, and they pull out of the wheels and stuff to see if there's any play and bearings and all that kind of thing. So anyway, the bad news is that if he comes back out into the office to the window and you see him take out a highlighter, then he's highlighting something. And if he's highlighting something, you failed. And he took out the highlighter, which I wasn't particularly surprised by. So here it is. Turns, there you go, fail, and then major, right? It says major, 2 major fails. So I'll read it to you, okay? Indicator telltales, repeater not working near side front, and registration plates and chassis number. These are headings, by the way. And then the actual defect is obstructed, not visible. That's the chassis number. And the bulbs had all been working half an hour before I left here, so something had gone in the meantime. And the chassis number, he was looking in the wrong place for starters, but my uncle had put a piece of silver gaffer tape over the chassis number so that it wouldn't corrode too much, which was a brilliant idea. And I'd meant to say to the guy, or take it off, and I'd forgotten to do both. And I said to him, oh, I meant to say to you about the chassis number, it's just a bit of tape there. And he goes, yeah, it doesn't matter. So he really wasn't interested, and he said, look, it's a visual recheck, so come back anytime you want, and we'll sort it out. So I said, can I do it now? And he kind of went, yeah, if you want. And I went and I got a bulb, put it in, peeled a piece of tape off the chassis, And I have an NCT. Can you see that? Woohoo! While I was standing in the retest queue, I had a minute. I hadn't had a minute, and I had a little minute to kind of stop and realise that the car had essentially passed. I mean, all the stuff, I get a little bit choked even now, but all the stuff that I had done over the years was good. It was just two little stupid things. Nothing really to do with me. And I had to face the wall for a second because the place was still full and I was getting a bit misty. It's been kind of epic. It's been epic in its difficulty, in the toughness of it, and it's just good now. I don't think it's even quite. I don't think it's kind of hit me, but I'm a little bit pissed off at myself because the last episode I did the montage and I did a little bit at the end, and I could have made more of that. It was very rushed, and the montage is missing some really nice moments in the last 3 years and all that kind of stuff. And I don't feel like I can milk it anymore. Not that I milked it in the first place, but I don't think another episode doing more kind of, the moody stuff. That's not what this is all about. This has never been about that, but it is about the wins, and it's a win. And I feel things have been tough, and they still kind of are. I mean, I'm not living the type of life I thought I'd be living by the time I was this age, but I can feel they're getting better, and they're going to keep getting better. And so I just wanted to say that because I know that this brings some sort of motivation to some people, and that's worth something. It really is. So just keep focused on whatever it is. As a buddy of mine says, life is just a pendulum, and sometimes it's swinging, it's a downward swing, and sometimes it's an upward swing. Whichever one you're on and you're feeling, you can bet your ass it's going the other way soon enough. But you just got to remember that again, it'll just keep going. So I wanted to get out and show you. The car is now sitting just pretty. This is it's funny, right? Those two spaces are the spaces that we use, right? And I've pretty much monopolized. I mean, there's a big space here, but I've monopolized it the last while, and I've just moved everything around now that can, it has a right now to sit in a space that it can be moving in and out of, right? So I've moved everything back round into the order they will now appear, because the Esprit is coming back. And what I was saying about the episodes is that I don't know what's going to happen in the next episode, because usually when I'm working, something will trigger something in my head, a bit of creativity, and I'll start getting a handle on what I think the episode might be about or have in it. And it's been so intense the last kind of 10 days, the last even 20 days, that I have no clue what that is. I couldn't bring myself to pick up the camera. That's why I didn't shoot the electrics yesterday or anything like that. And I don't know what the episode's going to be, but I do know what's coming. And I'm thinking I'll take the next, even this month might be quite quiet. I'll just do stuff for you. Episode wise, it'll be quiet. What's coming is, we were supposed to sandblast the chassis of the Spree last week, but the weather was brutal. Today is the first day. It's beautiful. I've got some shorts on, and I'm going for a walk on the beach. The Esprit is next. That is what is going to take over the series from now on, with a side helping of Sprinter, because I'm going to restructure my weeks the way it was leading up to Christmas, which is 3 days work on the Esprit and then 2 days to produce an episode. So there will be hopefully an episode every week of Esprit. And on the 2 notional days off, until this thing is done, I will be working on this, because this is another big factor. As you know, camper come podcast studio, or just studio. Then it will be Jaguar, which it's just, I just moved it this morning. It's just so nice. It's really lovely. It's not really something I'm into, because I'm giving it to my folks, and as such, I can't do a lot of the stuff I'd like to do with it. But we'll see. Anyway, this is next. Then it's the Jaguar, and I have ideas for other projects, stuff I'd like to get into, more kind of customizing and just how you might have a bit of fun with it. I'm not the type to build out and out custom just for the sake of it. I want something that, you know, reflects my style or my lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. So that's what's going to happen. I think I've covered everything. I got an NCT on the Range Rover. Oh, there is one other thing. Let me just grab the keys at the back gate. The one other thing is that I was laughing about being the kind of very unorganized guy arriving at the center. Well, when I came back looking for my retest as I went towards the door of the center, someone literally just dumped out all the stuff out of their car, went in, gave the keys in, and in the car went. Anyway, things are getting better. I know they're getting better. I'm a great believer in hard work paying off ultimately, and I've been working hard. So that's it. Keep working hard. I'll see you in a few days. I'll do something. I got to do something. There we go. Now, can I show you this? I already want to change it, but that's another day's work. I am off to spend a day, hopefully with clean hands, and doing something I haven't done in a long time.